Welcome to day 3 of Sailplane Grand Prix. Race 3 held on Tuesday, March 28th. The race today was 430 kilometers. We'll get to the task here in just a second. The race was won by Fidler, followed by Kelley and Pete Alexander. And then Sergei Morozov, Jerzy Simplinski, John Gatfield of Great Britain, Tony Condon, Jim Lee, and Rich Owen rounding out the points. The task was a pretty exciting task with good cumulus, but there was a large incursion of the Gulf of Mexico sea breeze front, which penetrated into Ocala and blocked out turn point number 5, Williston. We'll talk about this in the review, but the sailplanes had a good run to about Ocala, but then had to run north around the fringe of the sea breeze front out to Williston and then back, and then on this leg they made a large sweep to the east and then came back into Williston here. And this was devastating and interesting to watch for a lot of the gliders that pushed a little too hard out into a very blue hole here. There was also a blue hole here on the fourth leg up into Umatilla that the gliders had to cross, and I'll try and reflect that in the review. Okay, so back over, here we are at the start. The gliders statistically and in color are in order of finish today. And just for a little quick change of pace, I thought I'd jump over to the statistics and just show the statistics of the various pilots. In general, they were all very similar, but the ones worth noting are 23 thermals for the 430 kilometer task, an average speed of 110 kph. The average vario total was 4.5 knots for 7 Tango. And let's go to Tom Kelley, a slightly lower LD, slightly more thermals, 1 or 2 more thermals, and a slightly higher vario average. Pete Alexander, again similar, 59, a few more thermals and a slightly weaker vario or average climb. Sergei Morozov, a very strong LD, same number of thermals as 7 Tango, but 0.6 of a knot weaker average climb. Jerzy Simplinski, similar 68 LD to Sergei, 3 less thermals, and just slightly less in the vario strength. John Gatfield, again a pretty high LD, 2 less thermals than even Jerzy, and a slightly stronger vario average. So John's flight actually shows some of the strongest statistics. Tony Condon, JS1, similar number of glides, similar LD, and 4.6 on the vario average. 1 Charlie, JS1C, Jim Lee, again very similar, a few more thermals and a slightly weaker vario average, about a knot less total as some of the winners. Zulu Oscar, slightly weaker on the vario as well. Romeo Fox, very good statistics here, even down to Romeo Fox, 61 on the LD, 21 thermals, slightly less than the winner. Golf, Nico Bennett, 50 LD, quite a few more thermals, 5 or 6 more thermals, and a 3.5 knot average. And then Mike Solly, 50 LD, 17 glides, and a slightly weaker thermal average. So just to give you a flavor of the performance of the gliders, and if we go back quickly to the results, it's pretty close. 4-hour task and 10th place, Robin Clark, only 15 minutes behind the winner. All right, let's jump back over to the 3D view, and we'll catch up with the gliders here just before the start and jump in. So we're camera slaved on 7 Tango, the winner, and you can see the start there, spread out over maybe 1.5 miles, and obviously this isn't to scale, but there's no need to be first. It's actually quite nice to sit back a little bit and just have a nice start and wait a little while for an opportunity to get an advantage. And you can see right there the group breaks almost immediately into 3 groups. So we're headed south here. This is Lakeland and an area of numerous lakes, sinkhole generated lakes here in southern Florida. This is known to be a quite soft spot. You didn't want to be low here. You didn't want to be in a position of risk. So everyone taking it easy here, moving through that area of lakes and into the first turn point. So it's worth noting Nico Bennett well out ahead, followed by Sergei Morozov going into the first turn. And climb rates are anywhere from 3 to 6 knots, and top of climb around 5,000. Sergei and Nico still in the lead there. And 7 Tango, Tom Kelley, and Tony Condon working out ahead. Strong cumulus here. There's no holes at this point in the task yet, and everything is pretty uniform. But if I remember correctly, some of these climbs weren't working very well. So you can see me there taking a 1.5 knot climb, and the gaggle is going to come and roll us. Tom Kelley, who ends up second for the day, is in a little bit of trouble here early in the task, down to 1,700 feet or 1,500 feet AGL, and taking a weak climb. So that early risk to try and push ahead didn't really pay off for these guys. Tony Condon's below the gaggle as well. So the herd is working right now. And we're headed back up to the Seminole Lake glider port for the sort of first triangle of this race. And Romeo Fox, Robin Clark, first through that turn, followed by John Gatfield, Rich Owen, and Pete Alexander, and 7 Tango Sean Fidler. So this was an interesting time of the task. There was also a hang glider competition, and as the group was moving to the north here, bumping through some of the stronger clouds, a fleet of 20 to 25 hang gliders was moving south, which was exciting and beautiful. You can see another area of lakes here, and a very large hole, some sort of sea breeze incursion, perhaps from the Atlantic side, created a hole here almost all the way out, in fact all the way out to the next turn, maybe another 30 kilometers, which created a few challenges for the group. So right about here the group is going out into this large blue hole. You see VW John Gottfield struggling to get altitude before he crosses the hole. So at this time, GS1 Tony Condon is moved into the lead group. 1 Charlie Jim Lee, Zulu Oscar Rich Owen, and then 7 Tango and 9-8 Sean Fidler and Pete Alexander. The next group back is Sergei Morozov, Robin Clark, Tom Kelley, and Nico Bennett. And let's look at this climb strength. A 4-knot climb for 7 Tango. 7-11 back here in this group pulls a 6-knot climb. And this is a little wisp out in the middle of a large blue hole that makes us comfortable as we're going to round this turn in the blue. The sea breeze front is 4 or 5 kilometers, maybe 10 kilometers past the turn, but is blocked by restricted airspace. And then we have to turn and go another 15 kilometers here to get into the next line of clouds. just to give you a flavor of what's going on. And Jerzy Simplinski catches up to the group. Once again, Tony Condon, if there were points given out for getting to each turn point before the rest, I think Tony would have won this contest by a long way. Really aggressive, and first time in an 18-meter glider and learning how to make it all work. Expect really good things from Tony here in the future. So here's the lead group of 4, starting to pull out ahead a little bit. And this is some extremely fast flying here. Out ahead, I'll put up a video of the sea breeze front, right up to about a Kala that we're actually running on the edge of the strongest cumulus, convergence-driven cumulus, and you're going to see probably some 6-7 knot average climbs here, and essentially running along in a street with a lot of energy. So some extremely fast flying here at this point. So just for the fun of it, I'm going to go back to that climb. So yeah, 6 knot average climb for 1300, and JS1 is going to do the same. So now the group really broken up by this sort of high-speed escalator flying here, going into the Ocala turn point. Now what happens ahead, just to give you a picture, is the Williston turn is well out in the blue, and these gliders are skirting the wisps, getting as close to the turn as possible before jetting out into the blue and then returning back to the street or the convergence line to get back into the clouds. And even though 7 Tango and JS1 here have a bit of a lead, a 6.7 knot climb for 2,300 feet there, in very strong cumulus, the group behind is going to catch very easily as we slow down and try and figure out the puzzle of how to get out into the blue and get back without taking too big of a risk.
I'm bumping along the clouds along the edge trying to get in. I'm nice and high, 4,600. I went to cloud base behind. I've lost everybody here, but there's one guy who just popped up. But anyway, there's the hard stuff, but I've got to get over there and totally blue over there. And we're making a 165 degree or 145 degree left turn here, so we're going further out in the blue. See the coastline there?
And you could see there the catch. Tony once again out into the lead. And these are the wispies here before jetting out deep into the blue. Tony once again leading. And the group heads back out into the wispies. And you can see here they're getting fairly low, down to 2,600, 2,200, 2,800, reattaching to some of the good clouds. And the next leg, as you can see, is about 45 degrees, maybe 50 degrees offline. Let me jump back here to the task. So right now we're coming out of this turn point, going to turn point number 6 here, Cub Haven, but the gliders, because the sea breeze front is penetrated to that level, maybe 80-90 kilometers in from the shoreline, the gliders have to go well to the east and then sweep around here to get back to turn point number 6. Look at Tony. JS1 way out ahead. And Tom Kelley, who spent a lot of time in the lead as well throughout the week. And I remember this thermal here. So now we're actually running down fairly strong cumulus. This is the edge of the sea breeze front, and we're moving due south now, coming back into the 6th turn point. There's a lead group: John Gottfield, Tony Condon, and sort of the usual suspects here in the lead, Tom Kelley, and then the more conservative group here of X-Ray Golf, 7 Tango, Zulu Oscar, and 1 Charlie. You can see they're quite high. They're in a controlling position over this group ahead, and you can see the group in the back. And just to give you a flavor, this area here is also a very large blue hole. So the Seabreeze front, strong cumulus here, but then another incursion, I guess, of Gulf air, stable air, and quite a struggle to reach this turn point number 6, Cub Haven. And the gaggle just overflew 7-11, who ends up second for the day by maybe 1,000 feet. And JS1, Tony Condon's out ahead, but down to 2,400 feet. And here, 7 Tango took a little bit different line. I can remember this distinctly. I had fallen behind this group and was worried about following it. It's very difficult to follow guys who are 500 feet higher. So I took a different line and hoped I could catch up. Now the lead group is 3 ahead. And you can see here the second group is Sean and Tom. And then a third group back here, JS1, 9-8, Mike 6, and John Gottfield of Great Britain. So right here, there is a line of cloud here, and there is a very strong cumulus cloud, sort of another edge of the Seabreeze front here, and that is what I deviated for. These guys had good clouds here. They weren't quite as strong as this cloud that we're going for over here, and they had to go farther to get to it. So this is sort of the moment of truth right here for 9-8, 7-11, and 7 Tango, who finished 3rd, 2nd, and 1st respectively. So just to look at that cloud choice, you can see they're making their climb there. Let's look at X-Ray Golf, 4.3 knots for 2,400 feet, and over here at 1,500 feet of climb at 5.4 knots. So a knot stronger climb average here for 7 Tango. JS1 back out into the lead again. Tony is very strong. Now 7 Tango here is generally on final glide. And you can see the pass has already been made on the lead group. And this is an overcast layer with only 1 cumulus cloud to the finish. And I remember being maybe on glide, needing another 200 feet. And didn't really get much, but that was enough to finish. There you have it. First, 7 Tango, 7-11, 9-8, Sergey, JS1, VW, 1 Charlie, and Zulu Oscar. Okay, quickly back over to the results. First place in this 431-kilometer assigned task, 7 Tango, Sean Fidler, United States. Tom Kelley, 7-11. 9-8, Pete Alexander, followed by Sergey in Jersey of Canada. John Gottfield of Great Britain. Then Tony Condon, Jim Lee, Rich Owen, and Robin Clark. Thank you very much for watching. We'll get the video for Race 4 up very soon.